we're now at a point, and I've said this before, number one, we're in a cycle where the Fed is not printing money. That's very, very tricky for Bitcoin. Doesn't mean Bitcoin's not going to break out here, but it makes it harder. So to think that we're going to get the same 4-year cycle when Bitcoin is not being propelled by massive inflows of money from the Federal Reserve, from the US government, etc., that's problematic.
Today we have Gareth Soloway discussing the current state of the crypto market and where Bitcoin is headed in the coming weeks. Bitcoin rallied almost 70% in the first 3 months of the year, contradicting expectations for a continued market decline. Currently, Bitcoin's price is just below $29,000, down almost 5% in the last 5 days alone. This comes on the heels of an unusually large sell order on crypto exchange Binance and an unexpectedly high UK March inflation figure of more than 10%, which may have influenced market sentiment. The decline also caught traders who were betting on an increase off guard because the majority of BTC liquidated positions were long. More than $25 million in Bitcoin futures were liquidated. Longs, or bets on rising prices, made 98% of the positions. Let's check out the latest interview with Gareth Soloway as he gives us his prediction for Bitcoin and the crypto market in the next few weeks. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It's a tremendous help for the growth of the channel and allows us to bring you more content just like this.
The bottom line is, with Bitcoin, you have to start to be aware that there are factors here that are going to cause issues for Bitcoin. All right, so right now, we are at a major resistance. The 30,500 level is the level to watch. A lot of people kind of round it down to 30,000. No, the technical level is the technical level, 30,500. Look at what we've done right along here on the chart. Bitcoin has hammered on this over and over again. This is the daily chart. We even had a doji right here, which is a bearish signal, where it popped above and then got slammed down right to that level. I love how it flushed 2 days ago, rallied back, and now it's flushing again. The level I'm watching for short-term bias. So right now you're at resistance, but honestly, resistance can be broken. That's a possibility. But one of the things you have to recognize here is this longer-term trend line is that this is a long-term trend, right? You hammered on it here, you hammered on it right here, you broke above it, now you hammered on the opposite side. If we break below 28,500, 400 area and we confirm using the confirmation signal, that gives us now a downward channel or a break of the trend. So this is going to happen over the next week or two at longest. But right now, look for this support line right here. Also notice, I want to show you this, how if we connect these highs right through here, this line actually merges right at that point. So 28,500, 400, if we break below that, that is very bearish for Bitcoin. You go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, you go anywhere out there, everyone's talking about alt season, everyone's talking about this. The alts are going to start going 100x or 10x or 5x, whatever it is. My issue with that is that basically, because that narrative is out there, everyone's already positioned themselves long. If you haven't seen the alts go yet, and everyone's already believing that it's going to happen, that's a very, very concerning issue. Because again, think about this. Who's going to drive the alts up now? If all the little investors are in because they believe the alt season is coming after the Bitcoin run, how or who is going to now push it up via using massive amounts of money? That's problematic. Remember, the psychology of the market dictates, and psychology is key. This is what drives me nuts. Everyone's so regimented. I still remember when I was calling the high at 69,000 with the drop to 20,000. Everyone was telling me, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. The on-chain analysis shows we're going to 100,000, X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, dude, the charts are the charts. Psychology is psychology. It's worked for hundreds, if not thousands of years, but somehow you're going to come in here and say that, oh, some new metric, on-chain analysis is going to play out. To me, on-chain analysis is the same as fundamental analysis. Greed and fear drive the markets. That's just a simple explanation, and it's absolutely true. So when you have this scenario, guys, where you have greed and fear, guess what? Fear is going to trump fundamentals, on-chain analysis every time. Number one, we're in a cycle where the Fed is not printing money. That's very, very tricky for Bitcoin. Doesn't mean Bitcoin's not going to break out here, but it makes it harder. So to think that we're going to get the same 4-year cycle when Bitcoin is not being propelled by massive inflows of money from the Federal Reserve, from the US government, etc., that's problematic. In addition, every which way, I'm seeing Gary Gensler and the SEC suing this person or this company or that company. There's a lot of issues here. Big money is not going to commit. So again, I bring my point back to saying, well, who is going to drive the alt season if all the small investors are banking on it, thus in? And the answer is, well, big money's not coming to the rescue because they're not willing to commit capital in major amounts because there's no clarity, there's no structure, there's no rules in the crypto markets yet. I mean, literally Coinbase yesterday said that they were thinking about moving out of the US because they have no clarity. And this is a publicly traded company. I have seen it before and I've seen it again. The bullishness in Bitcoin and crypto right now is equal to the bullishness we saw at 69,000. That to me is a warning sign because to me, that's a negative divergence. To see that much bullishness at such a lower price, that is not a good sign. Now, again, will we see new lows on Bitcoin? Will my 12 to 13,000, signal come true? Will 9,000 maybe get hit? I don't know. The point is just be careful up here. Make it prove that we can get above 30,500 by price getting there, staying there for at least a week. Then you can start to say, okay, now for sure the lows are in.
Soloway believes that Bitcoin will continue to trade regardless of regulation, but he is more concerned about the impact on altcoins. He notes that if Bitcoin breaks $30,000, the next significant level would be a retracement to the low that could bring the price up between $43,000 to $44,000. He does see bullish sentiment in the market, which concerns him, as bottoms are usually not made when people are so bullish so quickly.
So I've just been inching in one toe at a time in the water here on the short side of the market, a little bit of the Qs short, a little S&P short, and kind of just preparing for what I think is coming. And I also think going into earnings season, I mean, we're basically just starting earnings season now. There's going to be a lot of negative revisions, in my opinion, or lowered forecasts. And that's the market to me is not prepared for that. If you look at like the forward PE of Microsoft, the forward PE of Apple, there's no preparation for any type of recession in that valuation. And that will have to reset at some point when the market comes to that realization that the Fed is telling the truth that there will be a recession. And the market has an amazing way of ignoring. And one of the topics, or one of the things I always say is the markets don't care until they care, right? So last week on CNBC, I happened to catch Warren Buffett saying that he has a retailer that he owns, right? And that Berkshire Hathaway owns. Year over year, their sales of this retailer were down 22% year over year. So to me, that was a shocking statement. I mean, that is a massive decline in revenue. And the market, again, ignored it. Nothing big, nothing to see here, essentially. So those type of things I'm picking up when you have big players that know what they're talking, the David Teppers, the Warren Buffetts, these big name hedge funds that you have respect for because they're accurate. That's what I pick up on out there. I want to show you something, all right? This is one of the most shocking charts to me. You're probably going to recognize it here. So this is the psychology of the market chart, right? So basically you have this run up. And to me, this run up that we've seen looked very much like the run that we saw from COVID all the way up to 2021. We've then had this sharp decline here. Now look at the price action that we're seeing here in this psychology of the market chart. It's a lot of sideways to slightly up. Now, if I flip back to my S&P chart, okay, and I want to go to my weekly chart, look at what we've done here, okay? You have the same sort of sharp move up, the sharp move down. There's even this little pivot where we had a lower low and then sideways consolidation. And so again, if you look at this down move and this choppiness, this is exactly the part within the psychology of the market that is going to tell us that this is the next down move to go.
Soloway is scratching his head over the perplexing behavior of Bitcoin, which has stubbornly refused to breach the 30,500 mark, despite the dollar plummeting to new lows. However, his analysis indicates that a surge above $30,000 is not out of the question in the coming days. It's crucial to exercise patience and hold off on any investment decisions until this critical move materializes, as Bitcoin has a remarkable potential for explosive growth. The coming weeks will be interesting to observe how the crypto market reacts to this bullish signal that we've been eagerly anticipating. What do you think about Gareth Soloway's latest prediction for Bitcoin and where he sees the crypto market heading in the next few months? Comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.